Get ready for news and views from Lubbock, Texas, USA. What's going on and real talk with people who move and do things. This is the Focus LBK Show with your host, Robert Jenkins.
Hey, what's good, LBK? This is Robert Jenkins coming to you with Season 3, Episode 135 of the Focus LBK Show. Today, I wanted to cover something. I saw a news article that, man, just really caught my eye. I wanted to let y'all know about it. The headline on this newspaper article is, Texas electricity demand could quadruple due to soaring data center demand. That's according to ERCOT. So it looks like ERCOT has put out a peak demand estimate that says that the electric, I'll just read you the first opening sentence here. Peak demand in the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT, territory could more than quadruple to 367,790 megawatts by 2032, driven primarily by data centers, as well as other large load consumers, as they're called. The grid operator, ERCOT, said in a preliminary forecast published Wednesday and noted by Utility Drive. Now, when you scan through the rest of that article, ERCOT seems to basically be saying, hey, hold up, guys. That estimate that electricity demand could soar, could quadruple by 2032. It seems like they're trying to walk it back a little bit, like, these are estimates, and the law SB, I think it's SB 106, made it to where you have to report. No, it's SB 6. That data now has to be included in the estimates and stuff like that. So that's why they're putting this out. But they're basically in this article telling people, be cool. We don't think it's going to really quadruple. We don't think it's going to get that high, but it's going to go up, but it ain't going to get that. You know what? I don't want to cast aspersions at ERCOT, but I will say this. This is, okay, so I'm a Lubbock resident. I grew up here, but I've been gone for 25 years. Y'all probably know my story. You've heard me say this before. I've been gone for 25, 30 years. We just got back about 4 years ago. 2022, matter of fact. We got back in March or April of 2022. It's been almost exactly 4 years. So before I left, I had never heard of ERCOT, didn't know what it was. And I think we were on Lubbock Power and Light when I used to live here before I joined the military. So we came back in 2020 and 2021 because my little brothers got married. Now, one of those years, I can't remember which one it was now, they had that big blizzard, that big ice storm here in Lubbock. And we decided to move back. And one of the reasons we decided to move back is because even in the middle of that ice storm, when Dallas and Houston and them was out of electricity and everybody's house was, freezing, the pipes was busting. My cousin, the guys like a brother from another mother, they was cooking chili in the fireplace on the like cowboys and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy down there because they was already on ERCOT. So when I first came back and saw that big ice storm, I said, well, you know what? It's a good thing we ain't on ERCOT because it looked like ERCOT just utterly failed. We moved back a year or two later because we thought Lubbock is a great place to be. We moved back on purpose. And come to find out, they switching us over to ERCOT. I say, what? They going to switch us over to ERCOT, the big grid that failed during the winter, that winter a couple years ago at that time? I say, man, why they switching us over to ERCOT? Don't nobody want to be on ERCOT. LP&L or whatever grid we own held up just fine during all that ice storm. We was here the whole time. We was driving. I didn't see power go out anywhere, as far as I could tell. So I'm saying, why are you switching us over to the failing, or how would Trump say, the failing ERCOT? Why would you switch us over to the failing New York Times, or the failing ERCOT in this case? It looked like whatever we was on was a little more sturdier. My grandma Dorothy used to say, it looked like it was a little more substantious. But they switching us over to ERCOT. So I say, man, we didn't move back and they gonna switch us over to the one that fell. Anyway, I didn't really want to be on ERCOT. Now, like I say, honestly, I had never heard of ERCOT before. I didn't realize that they were on separate electricity grids. I didn't know how that worked. But this is what I have noticed, though. These data centers, they're talking about AI, computing power for AI and stuff. I think there's things that are going on here that are unsaid, and there's been a definite, you've seen it. There's a push towards making you use AI. AI sucks to me. I don't really want to have nothing to do with it. There's certain tasks that it's pretty good for. And I give you a prime example. It's good for like, okay, when I write articles on this site, what I do is I go out and I talk to people and I hold my phone up and let them talk into my phone. And I got an app on my phone. Matter of fact, it's just the recording app. Now you can generate a transcript immediately off of it. So to do a newspaper article or a news article, you just let the people talk on your phone, ask them a couple questions, and then you say, show the transcript, and then you just copy and paste the transcript into an editor and put the right punctuation in there, and suddenly you have a newspaper article with exact quotes. That's AI is good for that. I'm cool with it. I'll do that. But I don't generate content based on AI. I don't put no inputs into AI and tell them, make me some content. I don't regularly do that because I just feel AI is substantial. Or it's not substantious. It's not substantial. It's not substantial. It's not it's wholly artificial and almost not intelligent at all is what I'm trying to say to you. AI ain't artificial intelligence. It's artificial and it's not intelligent. I mean, have you seen the slop that it produces? Do you know that everywhere we look on the internet, people are estimating that they're calling it the dead web now or the dead internet because most of it is AI content. It's not generated by humans anymore. That's tragic. I don't want nothing to do with that. Here's the other thing about AI that makes me be totally against it. The fact that, aside from the fact that it's completely artificial and wholly unintelligent, is that they're not rolling this out to help you. Nobody wants to see Trump videos. Okay, you see one, it's funny. He's walking. They got one where he's walking with some high heels on. Switching like a girl. That was mildly entertaining. But are we really basing the economy up so we could do that? No, they're not building data centers to do that. Let's get real, folks. Like everything the government does when it comes to telecommunications, they're doing it not so you can have faster videos and better AI videos. They're doing it because it makes you easier to track and trace. I guarantee you that's going to be at the bottom of it. You can trace it back. Y'all know that I have an intelligence background. One of the positions I held, I was talking to some guys, and this is totally unclassified. I'm not divulging no secrets or nothing. I was talking to some officers at one of the big intelligence agencies. We was in the agency making a movie or whatever and talking to them, and they seemed to be under the impression that this was all so we could have faster movie downloads. All this 5G stuff is what we were talking about. And I'm thinking to myself, you surely don't believe that. You're an officer at one of the biggest intelligence agencies in the world. You don't believe that they're building 5G infrastructure. This was just before COVID, by the way. They rolled 5G out, my understanding, during COVID. While we was all locked down, they rolled 5G out. Before that, we were talking about the imminent rollout of it, and they were thinking it's better video. It's going to be like gigabyte internet or whatever they were talking about. And I'm like, dude, the powers that be are not concerned about you being entertained. We're already fully stocked to the gills with bread and circuses. What is that? Panem et Circia or whatever it is. Yeah, we're fully immersed in the circus, and we are fully stuffing our face on bread. We are already insouciant, as they used to say, to the point of we're just not paying attention. We just don't know what's going on. But I guarantee you, they're not giving us AI data centers so we can have more funny Trump videos, a baby Trump with the little hair talking, but it's a baby talking. Like, that's not why they're doing this. Everything that the government does, as far as I've ever been able to ascertain, is do in some way. They do it in some way in order to track and trace and scan you better. So they are prepping some sort of control grid or some kind of surveillance grid. Not prepping it, probably finishing it off, knowing them. And AI ain't there to help you make videos quick and easy by typing in a prompt. AI is there to help them process large data, what they call it, big data. That's one of the things they want to do with AI. It's a control grid, folks. So when I see all these data centers popping up in Texas, I really want to tell our leaders, like, say, man, y'all need to ease back with all these data centers. You know, Texas in general has a water issue, and these data centers are thirsty. Look down below in the notes and you'll see not only this article that I was talking about, I'm going to put some memes down there. I found some pretty funny memes. It was like, man, that exactly describes data centers. They're just water hogs. So in dry, hot, dusty, water problem having Texas, specifically West Texas. You telling me we trying to build a data center over here on the east side? 900 and something acres. I think it was 938 acres. And they trying to assure us that, oh, you just need umpteen thousand, hundred thousands of gallons of water one time. It's a closed system, they said. Well, folks, I don't trust any of them, and I don't, I wouldn't let none of those folks babysit my dog. You know what I'm saying? Because they are the kind of people that, as far as I can tell, are motivated by money. There is not enough money in the world. There is not enough motivation for me in money to do something like, let's jeopardize our water supply over some AI. AI is failing as far as I can tell. At least seems to be the dominant narrative right now. AI is not living up to the hype. It's not living up to the promise. And dude, you could already see it. AI, all it does is regurgitate. It combs over everything that humans have made and then regurgitates and combines it and mixes it up and then regurgitates it out in a supposedly novel format. But it's error prone. They call it hallucinations, AI hallucinations. Come on, man. I one time a few weeks ago, y'all know the Lubbock first black news anchor Matt Stell. I googled him, and the AI answer at the top, that's the one at the top on Google. That's AI. Read it carefully. It says AI or whatever. Got that little symbol by it. That stuff said he was everything from a country and western singer to a retired 80s wrestler. I was like, I don't think Matt Stell, I'm joking about the wrestling part, but I'm thinking to myself, I don't think Matt Stell, did he have a recording career? I know he's a news anchor. It says something about college football. That might be true. I don't know. But I don't think he was, some of the other stuff that was on there, I was like, and I didn't get a chance to ask him. But I don't think that was accurate. And I'm like, dude, I'm asking you about a simple question. Like literally I could just go to the TV station's website and they probably still had his bio or something up there. Honestly, I could have just called him and asked him. But you trying to do a news article, you're trying to get somebody's name and title properly, and they talking about the country and western singer Matt Stell. I say, what? I don't think that's right. Matt Stell has a lovely voice. I don't doubt he's talented, but is he a country and western singer? He wouldn't be an R&B singer? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, I felt like it was an AI hallucination. So you telling me we building data centers that's going to jeopardize our water supply so we can have some artificially unintelligent non-entity, because it's not a being, and I really don't think AI is going to take over. It's not creative enough. How could AI can't take over when you have humans out there that are inspired, I think, by God. We are God's highest creation. We look up and see things that are inspired by things that God in God's creation. AI don't do that. AI combs over all of the data that we have already produced and produces data and output based on that input. Half of that input is garbage. GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. That's why I'm not really concerned about AI as far as it taking over the world. I am concerned about AI when it comes to taking over my water supply. I'm a kind of guy, I don't really, I'll just tell you straight up, I don't believe in that global warming stuff, because when you read about it and you read the people who founded it and who started it, they say that they want to use it as a way like terrorism. It's something bigger than any one nation, so they have to form a global government or a global body to combat terrorism. That's what they did with global warming, is my understanding. It's a push towards global communism or global socialism. And they do it because global warming is too big for any one government to conquer. We have to do it together. That's the whole point of it. Also, combined with the fact that all of their predictions have failed, according to Al Gore and them, we're supposed to be underwater, out of food, widespread famine, polar bears supposed to be. They ain't never got nothing right. That's why I'm an analyst. I'm a retired intelligence analyst. I pay attention to people who get stuff right, not people who just constantly tell you a narrative that never turns out to be what they said. So that's why I don't believe in global warming. But I brought up global warming because I want to point out that you notice we don't seem to be worried about that no more when it comes to data centers. All that building stuff, all that, the resources they going to suck up, all the electricity they going to suck up, all the water, all the noise pollution and light pollution, who knows whatever they put out. I saw a story the other day talking about they built one, Microsoft built a data center somewhere up, was it Ohio or somewhere? I'll put the article down there. Talking about basically, it's not even done yet, and there's a constant noise that is emanated by the building, and it's right next to a neighborhood, and all those homeowners can hear it in their homes. They can hear that dang noise, the buzzing sound. Well, I tell you what, if you're hearing a buzzing sound, that means it's probably bad for you health-wise, too. It's probably some kind of radiation, electromagnetic spectrum, energy. It's probably not good for you. But that's what I'm saying is all these people that used to be down with global warming, they're not making a peep about data centers. They're not worried at all about how much resources those data centers are sucking up. That's very interesting. If you were really concerned about the Earth being the climate of the Earth changing, it seemed like you would be like, these data centers are bad. We don't need no videos. We need water. We don't need no cat videos, you know what I'm saying? We don't need to process large amounts of data. We need to figure out how to use water more efficiently. How about that one? There's not a peep out of these environmentalists. Where are they at? What happened to these guys? Why ain't Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is? Why she ain't protesting data centers? Greta, you need to be protesting data centers. I thought you was against climate change. You trying to help the Earth. It's very interesting that the usual suspects, the climate change suspects, are not at all concerned about AI data centers sucking. As a matter of fact, not only are they not concerned, they are now saying we need to build nuclear power plants. Many nuclear power plants all over the country, all over Texas, my beautiful home country of Texas. Not state, it's my home country. I feel like this is where I'm from. This is my country. I don't really feel like the rest of the United States is part of my country. Let these other states do what they want to do. This is my country right here. And I feel like we need to be more circumspect. That means more cautious as we approach this whole AI data center issue. AI and data centers. Sucking up all that energy and all them resources over something that can't be no good for us. And now, like I say, the usual suspects, they ain't even worried about sucking up the resources now. They talking about, let's build nuclear power. I thought you said nuclear was bad. That's why we haven't built any nuclear power plants in so long, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it's been. Because they're supposed to be so dangerous and so bad. But that's not a problem now. When they push stuff like that, and they move the narrative out the way so they can push something, that's real suspicious to me. Climate change ain't no problem no more. Don't worry about that. We need to build these data centers, and we need to use nuclear fuel to do it, to run them. Okay, that's very interesting. You just changed you basically pivoted on a dime. It did a 180-degree spin real quick. You did an about face up in this camp. Thought you was concerned about the climate. Don't seem like they are, do it? There's a whole backstory. I am convinced that they are not telling us about why they want AI. They're not telling us about why they want this data stuff. Here's one thing I do know. Speaking of intelligence, former Intel background and data centers, I just read something the other day about how the USA data center in Utah is basically just sucked that state or that area dry as far as water. It's like, really? And it's just a blight on the landscape, a blight on the resources. It's just a huge drain. So they're not doing it for cat videos at the NSA data processing center. You know what I'm saying? They're not worried about your cat videos. They worried about other stuff. How do I know? I used to work there. Worked there for 21 years. But it's just interesting. Even the NSA and the DOD, the Department of Defense, talking about climate change. I was like, that's nonsense. Y'all talking about climate change in the middle of the Iraq war while we building city-sized bases around the world. You know how much fossil fuel that takes to do that? You ain't worried too much about climate change. It's always been a hoax, as far as I can tell. At least they concerned about it has been. It's a way to control you. And I suspect that when they set aside something like climate change and then push data centers up to the front and say, yeah, don't worry about that over there, that climate, that nuclear fuel and climate. No, don't worry about that. We get to get these data centers done. But I worry when they do that, that means there's an ulterior motive. If y'all can tell, I don't really trust certain entities. And I'll tell you, I don't care. I ain't ashamed. I'll tell you straight up. No, I don't. Have you seen their track record? Have they ever helped you? You know what I'm saying? No. Now, I can't say, yeah, I have seen their track record. And I can't say they've ever helped me. At least they haven't helped society as a whole. Anyway, I guess that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Be careful about these data centers, and let's make a pact. Let's shake hands on this, LBK. We need to watch what they trying to do with this data center over here. I think it's over there on the east side on North Martin Luther King, off in that field outside the loop, somewhere back off in there. I think that's where they're trying to make it. Pretty close. And they assured us at the hearing, which, by the way, that snuck up on me. I never even heard of people about it until I saw it at the city council meeting. I was like, whoa, so a data center? Who? Some dude from Oakland want to build a data center? Hey, build a data center in Oakland. How about that? How about you solve the crime over in Oakland first, then build you a data center up there? Don't come over here in Texas trying to build no data center. That's just the way I feel about it. How y'all feel about it? Tell me right down here in the comments, man. Hit me up. How do y'all feel about it? Data centers. Do you want them? Do you love them? Do you need them? Do you hate them? Do you think they're a tool of Satan? Do you think they're a tool of a new society? They're going to help us out with more and more convincing cat videos? I just deeply suspicious of them. And I definitely do not appreciate them just completely disregarding the natural resource issue. Depletion of our natural resources that seems to be part of the package of these data centers. Anyway, let me know how you feel about it, LBK. This is Robert Jenkins signing off for the Focus LBK show. We'll see y'all around town. We'll see y'all out and about. And for now, let's say peace.